Project management is not the same as implementation, because the manager's role is not to write every line of code or to design every component. Instead, the manager steps back and is supposed to see the entire field and keep the team aligned. Technical knowledge helps, but the essence of management is more about coordination and timing and decision making. You think of it more like conducting an orchestra. The conductor doesn't play every instrument. Their role is to guide the whole ensemble so the music works together. So for you as students, it's more helpful to think of the project manager not as a boss who commands the team, but more like the servant who enables the team to do its work. A good project manager will remove roadblocks, and they make sure that each person has what they need, whether that means resources, access, or information to succeed in their role. The servant leadership model kind of highlights that the project manager's success is measured by how well they enable the success of the team. There are two documents that anchor the work of project management. So it's the project charter, which sets out what we're doing and why, while the project plan explains how we're going to do it. And no matter what methodology is being used, whether it's agile, waterfall, or a hybrid, these two documents are really important. So starting with the product charter, it's a short, high-level document, usually only 1 or 2 pages, and it sets the guideposts for what everyone has to agree on before work starts. In agile environments, the charter is especially important because developers and sponsors will make prioritization decisions together, and they need to have a shared understanding of the project goals. So what goes into a charter can be remembered with the acronym BOSCARD. That's BOSCARD. So background explains why the project is being done, who benefits from it. Objectives describes the goals and what successes will look like. The scope defines what's included and what's excluded. Constraints identifies limits such as budgets or schedule or regulations. And assumptions record what we believe to be true at the start, such as assuming that users will have anything like smartphones or internet access. And then risks describe what could go wrong and how significant those risks might be. And then deliverables will list the tangible results that come out of the project, such as, whatever it is that you decide, such as an app or an administrative dashboard or a training guide. Real-world examples show why each of these elements matter. For example, when the big box retailer Target entered Canada in 2013, their background was clear because they wanted just a rapid market entry, but the risks and constraints were not really recognized. So their suppliers struggled, and data systems failed, and stores opened with empty shelves. And the result was one of the most expensive retail collapses in history. And that kind of failure illustrates why a charter must surface these issues up front before work begins. If the project charter is the what and the why, then the project plan is the how. Unlike the short charter, the plan is very detailed. Depending on the size of the project, it may be one large document or could even be a collection of several. And unlike the charter, which is often shaped with the sponsor, the project plan is developed just by the project team. Think of it as the rules of the road or the project's FAQ. The contents of the project plan can vary, but most will include several common elements. The scope statement defines the work as precisely as possible. Critical success factors are identified, such as completing the project by a particular date or meeting accessibility requirements. And deliverables are documented, and these include not just the final project, but also the training materials and documentation and support items. The Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS, divides the project into smaller, more manageable pieces. NASA famously used a WBS to break down the Apollo program into thousands of discrete tasks, each one contributing to the moon landing. From the WBS, a realistic schedule and budget can be created, which is something you'll need to do in your own work. Plans may also specify quantity standards and human resource considerations, especially in larger projects, and they should list stakeholders and explain why each person or group is a stakeholder, since that informs how communication will happen. And then communication planning is one of the most important aspects of the project. It covers scheduled updates and sponsor presentations and weekly team reports, as well as other ad hoc channels such as using Teams or Slack. Well, in this course we'll be using Slack, but since this course uses a Slack workspace for communication, keep in mind your own team can set up its own private channel there to coordinate your work. Our IT pays for the enterprise version of Slack, so you can make full use of the features that are available to you. A risk register lists the known risks and how they'll be handled if they occur, while a procurement section covers the outside services or vendors, including service level agreements and licensing. Charters and plans are not just paperwork. They are living documents, and a good plan makes it clear that problems should not be hidden. If something's going wrong, it's better to surface it early and work with the team, the client, and the sponsor to resolve it as soon as possible. History shows what happens when this breaks down, because Boeing's 787 Dreamliner program ran years behind schedule and billions over budget, largely because communication between global suppliers failed, and risks were hidden or not addressed early enough, and the plan looked fine on paper, but the human side failed. And this is why these documents matter so much. They set the expectations, align the team, and give the tools to the team to steer the project when it starts to drift. So in this course, you'll create both a project charter and a project plan. And your charter will be short, high level, and agreed upon by everyone on the team. Your plan will be detailed and will break down how you intend to deliver. And together, these two documents form the foundation of your project, and the habits that you build in writing them now will carry forward into every real-world project that you take on.